Welcome to Jersey's finest foodies. I'm your host, retired Detective Lieutenant John Kerner. On this week's episode, I'd like to welcome retired Lyndhurst Police Sergeant Anthony Preite. Anthony dedicated 25 and a half years of his life to law enforcement. So why don't you join us while we grab a bite to eat at one of Anthony's favorite restaurants, Villa Italia. So let's go inside and meet Anthony.
Anthony, thanks for joining me on the show today.
My pleasure.
Let's start off by telling the audience, what did you order here?
I ordered a chicken stromboli. They consider it a sandwich. Looks more like a giant roll.
It's fantastic. Got chicken, onions, peppers, mozzarella. Delicious. So much flavor. The roll is so nice and crispy and toasty. Fantastic. Great job. Anthony, let's give our audience a taste of your career. Where it all began?
Well, it began in 1989 when I was hired by the Lyndhurst Police Department, and I retired in May of 2015.
And what did you do when you first got on?
I was assigned to the patrol division, and just basic patrol every day. I did go to a few schools. I went to accident investigation school back then, and then later on in my career I was promoted to a detective, where I worked there for, I believe it was 4 years, 3 or 4 years.
What year was that?
That I'm not sure of. I want to say it was probably 2009, somewhere in that area, and that's where I went to a class for composite sketch drawing and became actually Lyndhurst's first composite sketch artist.
Oh, great. That's fantastic. So you did a lot of sketches then?
Yes. Actually, I remember that we had, it wasn't my call, it was another detective's call, and I did the sketch. And when we caught the guy, actually before we caught the guy, the chief of police walked through the detective bureau and he looked at the drawing and he said, "Are we doing portraits now with people?" Because I guess I was that good at it, you know. But then we ended up, he knew right away who it was, and we went and grabbed the guy, and actually the suspect was actually impressed at the drawing that it was there.
No, those sketch artists really, it's a lot of talent to be able to draw someone and make it actually look like the person.
Yeah, and it's the procedure too, that it's not as easy as everybody thinks. It's if you're an artist, you can look at something like a photograph of a celebrity and draw them, but to ask somebody who just was a victim of a crime to look through a book and pick out certain eyes and a nose, each body, each facial feature.
Yeah, you're literally piecing it together as they describe.
It's basically like Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually very, very amazing. Cool. And you became sergeant when?
I became, sergeant in probably 2000. I want to say it was 2013. I'm not sure.
And that's where you stayed until you
And then what happened was I went back, left the detective and went back into the patrol division and was a supervisor there until the day I retired.
Awesome. Good. Very nice. Why did you choose law enforcement?
Well, I really wanted to be an artist, but my grandfather kept pushing. I get you to become a police officer. I get you to town. I get you to become a police officer. So I told him, if you can do it, then do it. And he ended up, I put the application in, and he did a few things for me, and then I got a phone call. I was hired.
Awesome. Did you follow in any family members' footsteps?
Yes. The reason my grandfather wanted me to become because my uncle, his son, was a police officer and passed away in 1984. Okay. So I was the last of the male grandchildren that was young enough to become a police officer. My brother and my cousin were a lot older. They were in their late 20s, early 30s, so it was a little too late for them.
How do you feel about the state of law enforcement today?
It's horrible. Nobody gets respect no more. It's not like when I first started, and even up to a few years ago, there's no respect no more. There was a difference. A police car pulled up, people almost like afraid. Now they take their cameras out, they start filming, right away they want to see if the cops going to screw up, do something, just so they can lose their job. Like, people just hate police officers or something.
You're right, there's no more fear.
No.
I remember growing up as a kid, police pull up, like, oh my God, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, even just playing football in the street.
Yeah, just hanging out, dudes. I know. There's no respect and no fear today.
Yeah, I mean, even sometimes, like, you know, since I'm retired, like, me and my wife go somewhere and we're out, and somebody says, oh, what did you do? And as soon as my wife, I try to tell her not to say it, but she's like, oh, my husband's a retired police officer. Now, some people go, oh, thank you for your service,
Right.
oh my God, you know, that's some career, but and other people give you a dirty look. So
You never know.
you got to know, like, if you're sitting with older people, you could say. If you're sitting with a younger generation, maybe not, because they don't.
Yeah, no, I
it's
get
different.
it. I fully get it. During your career, I'm sure you have a lot of good memories. Can you recall like a favorite memory while you were on the job?
Yes. Probably one was I was probably maybe on the job a year or two, and we got a call of a woman going into labor. So I responded down there, and the woman actually was living on the living room floor, and her water just broke, and her husband was there. So she did not have the baby there. The ambulance came, but there wasn't enough members in the ambulance crew, so I had to drive the ambulance to the hospital, which I did. But I always tell that story because, you know, obviously the baby was born in the hospital. But now, when my wife and myself go out to dinner at another restaurant in town, that woman and her husband walk in, and though they had a daughter that day, their daughter now has kids. So it's like he always says, and that's whenever he comes in, you remember that time before, you know, like, and it's like, it's funny how, like, in such a small town, these people, you know, still live in town and stuff like that. So we see them around all the time.
And the child that was born that
child
day.
now is a mother.
That
It's
is a great
like that's
story.
like one of the ones that really stand out.
Oh, no doubt. That's a great story. What would be, maybe this you're saying, but what was your proudest moment on the job?
Besides getting promoted, I would say that, but like probably like that call, and I know another time, I think I was on the job only 2 weeks at Lee Academy, and we were working the night shift, and ended up in the morning. And it wasn't my call. I was partnering up with someone, and it wasn't our call. It was someone else's call. That it was an unconscious male, and they went down and they yelled over radio CPR in progress. So we went down, and everybody was taking turns because doing CPR, you do run out of. I don't have good shape. You run out of breath, and I got on him, and I'm doing the compressions and doing this stuff, and the paramedics got there, and he actually came back to life. I mean, he passed away 2 months later. He was in the hospital, but like that was like another, like you said, well, I saved the guy's life for 2 months.
That's always
so
that is definitely a problem.
You know,
Yeah. Very good. What about we've seen a lot of outlandish calls on this job. So what was the most outlandish call you've done?
Well, there's a lot of them, but I would say there, since I was an accident investigator, and it was right around like probably the beginning of December, and we got a call of an accident, and we got up there, and it was a pickup truck. It was the local fire department. They sold Christmas trees, so you pick out your Christmas tree, and then what they would do is they would have somebody dressed like Santa Claus, and they would have Santa Claus deliver the tree to your house for your kids. Well, the way it was set up, they had the pickup truck pulling looks like a landscaping trailer, and they had a Santa sleigh. Well, the guy driving the pickup truck must have took the turn too quick, and the sled tipped over. And Santa Claus went rolling down the street. But at the time that happened, there was a car driving up the street. There were children in the car.
Oh.
So can you imagine a 5-6-year-old kid now looking at Santa Claus rolling down the street, tumbling down the street with his sleigh. And I remember I had to do that accident report, and then when you had to draw the picture for it, it was all computerized, and we had to do it. And just the way I did it, like with the Santa, like in accident there would be like skid marks, but it was, I made it red, like the Santa suit was left on the street, because it really was. And it was like we got there, we were actually he wasn't hurt, but it was like looking at it, and when you
Right.
look back at it, it was kind of like very like funny.
Yeah.
But that was probably one of the ones that stood out. But I mean, over 25 years, you see stuff like I don't even remember half the stuff
No,
that you
absolutely.
see.
No. What about, we also see a lot of horrible, brutal calls on this job. If you recall, what was the worst call you've ever been on?
Okay. There was actually two. There were accidents. It's funny how some of the funny ones come up as an accident. Some of the, but there was two cars were racing on the street, and the one car moved over and hit a telephone pole head on. Had four young kids in the car, probably in their early 20s. Two in the front seat, two in the back seat. But when we got there, we just saw two because the other two were under the dashboard. They got ejected. There was that one. They had to be medevac them out of their seat, and the other one where there was a tractor trailer parked, and a gentleman was driving his car, and he went like this to change the radio, and his car went this way, and he went straight underneath the tractor trailer, and like basically almost. He didn't decapitate himself, but he was injured very bad.
Oh, so he's lit, that guy actually lit?
That I don't know because they had to medevac him out of there, so I don't know what the results were.
And
Those were
probably kids, and did they all live though?
I believe they did. Yes, I believe they did. I remember, we, at that time, I was only on the job a few years, and that happened like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we handled the initial accident, but because it was almost that somebody could die, they call out the fatal accident of the county. So they actually took over. But I remember them being here till like 8, 9 o'clock the next morning.
Where that was?
That was actually it was right down the street here on River Road. It was like I said, two cars drag racing, and there was a car coming this way, and this guy moved over, this kid moved over, but moved right into a hole.
This kind of goes back to the current state of law enforcement, but if there is one law that you could change to improve law enforcement, anything you think of?
The only thing I can think of is, you know what? You assault a police officer. If your peaceful protest they have nowadays, when the cops are standing off to the side, if you want to protest what you do. Don't go over the cops, get in their face, yell, spit at them, hit them with rocks, sticks. That happens, you're on put on film. There should be no trial. There should be no bail. You go straight. You should be a minimum 3 years in jail. That's it. Assault on a police officer, 3 years in jail. That's it. Done. Especially when you're on camera. It's all over the news every day. Cops are getting hit with rocks, sticks, getting things thrown at them, and you know what? Nothing happens. Nothing happens. The person gets arrested and they're let out 2 hours later.
Yep.
And they're back doing it the next day at the next protest.
Yeah.
So they should change that. I believe in New Jersey too, it's, the law with if you're caught with a gun in possession, you don't have the proper paperwork or carrying permit. So it's a 5-year jail sentence.
Yeah, 5 years.
That doesn't even happen anymore.
No.
How many people commit crimes with a gun and get out in 2 years?
Yes, absolutely.
It shouldn't. If that's what it says, there should be no trial, no nothing. Just go straight to jail.
I agree.
It should be like playing Monopoly.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were 21 again, at this point of the way things are, would you choose to be in law enforcement? If so, why? If it's not, why not?
No, I wouldn't.
Something kind of what we discussed, just the way the world is today.
Yes, just the way
the
the world is.
atmosphere?
If I had a son at that age or a daughter saying, I would tell them, become a fireman.
Yeah, I've heard, the second time I've heard that.
You work one day, you're off for 3. You work one day, you're off for 3. Yes, it's dangerous, you're going into a building, but at least people respect firemen. They're coming to help you. They don't look at that as
Absolutely.
or get a trade. Become a carpenter or an electrician or something like that.
They're high demand
Yep.
as well. No, I totally agree with you. If you knew someone that was young and they said to you, I don't care what you say, I'm going to be a cop, what would be a piece of advice to you?
Besides trying to talk them out of it or saying don't, no, I would say if you're going to do it, one, you have to have thick skin. That's the first thing. Not just on the street, also in your department, because there's a lot of ball breaking that goes on in the police departments. And 2, stay in shape. A couple days ago, it was at a national night out, the local police department. I'm walking around, and I've been retired 10 years. I have guys coming up to me that I work with going, "You're in better shape than the guys we just hired," and they're 30 years younger than me.
Right.
So I saw it. Some of these guys stay in shape because the way this world is today, you're gonna have to eventually get into some type of fight or something.
Yeah,
and every kid and every person out there is doing some type of karate or boxing, or they're staying in shape, or those people are out actually taking drugs to get bigger.
Yeah,
So
it's true.
you know,
No, it's
you
absolutely
gotta learn the self-defense stuff. Right?
No, that's actually
that's
great.
the biggest one.
That's great advice, actually. The way that you say, absolutely. All right, if Hollywood came to you and said, Anthony, we're going to make a movie about you and your career, or just you,
Okay.
what would the title of that movie be?
Leapfrog.
Any reason why?
Yes, because I was skipped over many times for promotion.
That could be.
And some people out there will know what it probably relates to it too.
Oh no,
also.
listen, that's yes, I fully
Yeah.
understand a little bit of inside humor there, but I totally get it. All right, well that's fantastic. We're gonna move on to some fun rapid fire questions now. You can think about it. If you know it right away, just answer.
Okay.
What is your favorite cop movie?
There's a lot of them out there. You know what? I kind of really liked Copland only because it was filmed here in New Jersey.
Yeah. It was a great movie. It was
Very good movie.
Long,
Yeah. It was a very good cast. Lot of good celebrities in that one.
It's an underrated movie. It's very
Yeah.
good. All right. What about your favorite New Jersey actor?
I'd probably have to go with Bruce Willis.
Okay.
And you know, he did make a few cop movies too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
His
Die
heyday,
Hard.
he was
Die
a
Hard.
popular game. Yep. What about favorite New Jersey musician?
Well, I'd have to go with Sinatra. Because I'm not big fans of the other two guys, per se. But yeah, I'd have to go with probably Sinatra.
Good choice. Classic.
Yeah.
Classic Sinatra is.
Yes.
Favorite New Jersey comedian?
Probably Vic Diabetto.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had him, actually when he first started out, we had him at a couple of our PBA Christmas parties.
Yeah.
He was doing stand-up. And 3 or 4 of them we had.
Yeah, I remember.
And then he came out.
Yeah, he's gotten popular now.
Yeah,
He's
very
doing really
popular.
well.
And actually, I actually saw him at Bananas.
Oh, you did?
Okay. Yeah, when it was over at Hasbrook, I'd say.
Awesome. What about your favorite New Jersey destination? Where do you love to go in New Jersey?
Cape May. Me and my wife, we go there at least once a year, if not sometimes 2, or just on the spur of the moment, we go down there for a weekend getaway or something.
Great place, great place. How do you take your coffee?
Just milk.
Just milk, no sugar.
No sugar.
What about your favorite alcoholic beverage?
Well, there's 2. Wine at dinner and then bourbon afterwards.
Bourbon, love the bourbon. Who is the most famous person you've ever met while working?
Oh, wow.
Or, it does have to be, because we meet a lot of people while we're working, when we do these when they film movies here, but if not work, who's your favorite?
Well,
Most famous person
who I
you met?
actually met, I would have to, what's her name? Oh my God. Jane Seymour.
Really?
I met her because I met her at an art expo in New York on the pier. She was promoting one of her paintings or whatever she did. Yeah.
That's cool. Did you meet anyone while working though? Ever work any of the movies?
No, actually,
Wow.
when they were filming all the Soprano episodes,
Okay.
I never worked there because I was down on the door with all the senior guys in.
Yeah,
cooking,
I know. All right, what about, do you have a famous crush?
Like celebrity-wise?
Yeah. And you don't have to. Yeah.
If I had to really pick one, probably Ted Nugent.
Ted Nugent.
only because I like to, loved his music and everything, and I also like that he's a hunter just like me. So.
Okay. All right. And last fun question here. Is it Taylor ham or pork roll?
Taylor ham all the way up here,
All right.
North
Awesome.
Jersey.
I totally agree. That's the same answer. North Jersey is Taylor ham. Down south is pork roll. So far it's been Taylor ham across the board here. Well, listen, Anthony, that concludes our little interview here. I want to thank you for being on the show. I would like to thank Joe from Villa Italia. Come see Joe come order. His food is excellent down right on Stuyvesant Avenue in Lyndhurst. And just want to thank you for being so gracious today. And I'm going to continue eating this, and we will see you next time on Jersey's finest foodies. Take care.